Hi, welcome back to the Cannabis Sommelier. I'm your host, Andrew Freedman. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Cannabis and Craft Beer Pairings. Today, I have a wonderful new beer to try and a fantastic producer that I've come to know and love. So, let's dive right into the beer to start everything off. Today, the beer I've chosen is from Russell Beer, and this is their Double Hazy IPA. Yes, Dazy Double Hazy IPA. What a great name. Rolls right off the tongue. Russell Beer is a great craft brewery in Surrey, BC, Canada. They've been brewing craft beers since 1995. So I love that this is a East Coast style IPA made out on the West Coast. And with the East and West Coast IPA thing, if you ever hear that discussion happening, East Coast IPAs tend to be more balanced with their malt and barley with the hopping, where West Coasts are extreme. But as I see more and more crossover happening, it's kind of like the hip-hop beef of the 90s, and now everybody's kind of sampling and stealing little bits of each other's style. So a beautiful, unfiltered beer. It's got this orange amber glow to it. I can't see through it. I couldn't see my hand through it at all, which is beautiful. And there's these huge tropical notes jumping out of the glass. This was just bombed with citra hops, and I smell like so much melon, like cantaloupe, mango, lychee, guava, papaya, that pine resinness. Like, it's all the way from back here just jumping in my nose. And up front, it's all those same smells. Very tropical, very melon. Like you bought a fruit tray from the grocery store and then maybe left it in the sun for an hour, I guess, and then opened it up when it got a condensation on the lid. I think that's the best way I could describe the smell of this. It smells absolutely delicious, like a fruit basket. On the palate, it is quite a strong beer. It's well balanced, but I would wager that it's probably over 7% alcohol. Let's take a peek. 8.5% alcohol. Wow. So that's hidden well. This is definitely a strong beer. IBUs are nice and low. The bitterness is very refreshing on my palate. It's not overwhelming. It's subtle and there. Kind of like I ate the rind of a mango would be the best way to describe it. The malt, barley, and hops I feel like are all really in check, but it has this big citrus burst that just hangs out on the finish. Just tons of, mixed citrus fruits, lemon, definitely from those citra hops. Really delicious beer, super crushable. I think it definitely fits the season of fall too. It could work as a summer beer, it could work as a winter beer, but I'm really enjoying drinking it right now. The strain I chose to pair with it today is Ice Cream Cake, and this was processed by Kind Selections, and the cannabis was grown by Hierba Canada. Hierba Canada is in Quebec, doing a lot of really cool exotic strains. So this is actually the number 10 pheno of the Ice Cream Cake, and I believe Ice Cream Cake comes from Mad Scientist Genetics, and it's like a super blue dream and cheesecake. Which is cheese and a different cookies cut. The lineage goes deep on the ice cream cake. But anyways, let's dig into it and smell it. Looks very saucy from the bottom, a little darker, almost matches our beer. I'd say it's 2 shades darker than our beer. On the nose, there's definitely this. Oh, it's hard to pinpoint. There's a lot of things going on. At first, I was going to start talking about the coffee cola aromas that were really represented. But then as I moved it, it was very blueberry, a little bit cheesy, kind of skunky, that sourness of the skunk spray. And then it's also a little bit woodsy. But I definitely think there's some more sweet layers on there. I guess cheesecake is a really good explanation because that kind of creaminess, sourness of a cheesecake is quite a bit what this smells like. Even though it's ice cream cake. Well, let's smell it side by side with the beer. Smelling back to the beer, it actually brings more of the malt out of the beer, making it have more of that cereal characteristic and kind of hiding the tropical fruits. So maybe there's a lot of tropical fruits in here that are just really getting mixed in. Maybe a lot of myrcene that's getting hidden behind the complexity of the other aromas. And when I smell from the beer to the extract, it makes it smell very fresh. The tropical flavors were definitely on top, but then I smelled this fresh, almost like freshly blooming lilacs under it. That kind of very fresh floral hit to my nose. Interesting. I'm excited to see how they pair on the palate. I have no preconceived notions right now. Get a little dab. Nice and chunky, like very grainy, chunky sand. And I have my niche tube on my e-nail set at 520 degrees, my D-nail. Wow. I think this extract actually really shines on the palate. On the nose, these flavors were kind of hidden, but there's like a sweet candied pineapple, sweet candied mango, that fresh lilac that I was talking about, freshly bloomed lilac. Maybe you stripped the flower off and you rubbed it between your hands. That's the illusion. Oh, there's also this other sweetness that I can't put my finger on. It's like marmalade, but it's not orange. I guess it would be like a pineapple marmalade. None of that coffee. And then there's one more flavor that I just can't put my finger on. It kind of tastes like a rocket pop or just something else so sweet and delicious. What is that? Anyways, I'm just gonna call it a rocket pop. Probably the blue part of the popsicle at the bottom. I guess that would be the blueberry. Let's put some beer in our mouth. I think it mixed phenomenally well. I love how all of those tropical fruits blended together, how all that really sweet tropical fruits, the pineapple and everything, the pineapple marmalade that I explained from the ice cream cake really lended itself to the beer. It gave the beer this more heavy body feel and perceived sweetness, but it didn't by any means make the beer sweeter or feel any less dry. Beer is still very crisp and refreshing. It just almost gave the illusion of having candy in my mouth at the same time of eating the beer, or of drinking the beer, sorry. So very cool. Love the pairing. What am I thinking about eating? I think the IPA would stand up to a lot of salads. You could throw some great vinaigrettes at this one, but what I'm really thinking about is barbecue brisket. We had it on the weekend from a cannabis and wine dinner I presented. Do a barbecue brisket. I think the smoke will go really well. I think the powerfulness of the citra hops in the beer will overtake it, and then adding in the cannabis extract very last, you'll have this amazing finish on the palate that will completely clear, wipe the senses, and really invigorate the senses and get you ready for dessert or the next part of the meal, because you can have brisket for an appetizer too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next week, cheers.